Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode of Macro Mondays. Bitcoin sitting at 102.8K. And yeah, a little dump today, a little red day today, but not too bad relative to last week. It's trading at the same prices as last week. This was basically the trading range of last week, and we are in the middle of that trading range. A lot of people freaking out, of course, as per, but you can't really trust a Sunday pump like this. And this is actually not a good sign for the crypto market, seeing a green day on the Sunday, or white day, or up day, followed by a bearish engulfing day like that. Not normally a good sign, but definitely not the end of the world, guys. We are approaching the buy zone. I've been waiting for this level in the crypto. We're going to be looking at altcoins because that's what we're focusing on at the moment. And you can see that if we look at the total crypto market, we are getting a pullback. But crypto is entering the buy zone, guys. Altcoins are entering the buy zone. We are entering the buy box. And the buy box is between $3 trillion and $3.2 trillion. And you can see that we did come into that zone over there, came down to 3.17 trillion. But this is the ultimate buy zone, okay, guys? So we've been waiting for the $3 trillion level to get tagged. And we said we've been waiting for this setup since February. So basically what we wanted to see was a breakout, price action above $3 trillion, and then a retest of $3 trillion, this zone over here. So now I've upped that to 3 trillion to 3.2 trillion, this yellow box over here, because of this strong horizontal over here. You can see it was support, we lost it, it was resistance, and then we went down all the way down to the correction low. So we have reclaimed this level. So this is technically support, guys. So this is why I've got a wide box. So for me, 3.03 trillion is the perfect 50% level, the zone over here. And in my opinion, this is the trade of 2025, guys. This is the trade of 2025. It's going to be a long from this box over here, targeting $5 trillion towards the end of the year. So this is the plan at the moment, guys. And your ultimate trades will be on those stronger looking altcoins, altcoins that are, standing tall amongst them all. Those are the ones that we are going to be having a look at. But this is the ultimate opportunity, guys. It's going to be buying this box over here, buying the box, and then taking the trade all the way up to 5 trillion with a stop loss over here. So, of course, if we lose the 200 and the 50-day EMA and start closing weekly candles there, it's not going to be looking good. Okay, guys, I want to speak about USDT dominance because this has been absolutely nailed, okay? So, fair value gap over here. Guys, I said do not enter any longs until we get into this fair value gap. And we've only just got into it a little bit today. You can see just got into a little bit of here. And I still think there's room for a little bit more. And that little bit more would be another, 5%. So maybe altcoins can go down like another 10%. Bitcoin could go down another 5% along those lines, something like that. But this is the high probability zone for rejection. So you can see we're about to get the death cross. What's the death cross? Well, it's when the 50-day EMA crosses below the 200-day EMA. And as you can see, both these EMAs are now postured to the downside. That means that downwards price action is most likely to follow. So you see over here, we had the EMAs both pointing towards the upside, but pushed price until we lost it. So this is most likely going to push price down until we lose these EMAs. So if we get a push up into that region at about 4.92 to 4.98%, expect this to be the next lower high before we move down into the range lows. And the range lows is going to be the zone over here. And from a macro point of view, what you actually see here is a massive descending triangle, okay? Price coming up like this, like that, it'll fake out, okay? And what you expect is for price to do that or break through like that. And this is what we are looking for towards the end of the year. So this is kind of the macro plan over here for this descending triangle to play out, for the range low to break out. And this is going to be the region where we see the blow off top. This is going to be the blow off top and the end of the cycle, in my opinion. This is what I'm planning for. This is my trading strategy at the moment. And this will take us, into Q4, this zone over here. So between, October and the end of the year, that is when that's going to happen. So we could see a little move up into the fair value gap and then a push all the way down to the bottom there. That is exactly opposite to the total crypto market cap, which I'm saying we're going to get a move down into this buy box over here, technically the fair value gap of the USDT dominance. That's going to get filled, and then we are most likely going to make a push all the way up to 5 trillion. 5 trillion is my target for the crypto cycle, this cycle. And how did I get that? Well, I connected the dots and extended the line. Guys, it's very easy. So took the top of, the 2018 top over there, the 2017 run, took the top in November 21 and extended it out, and that goes all the way up there. If you want to be very conservative and use that top as the top, then your target would still be $5 trillion, guys. So it's this $5 to $5.5 trillion. This is the region where we're going to be exiting our positions, guys. And then, a lot of people asking, where are we going to go from there? Well, we could come down to very low levels. If we extend this out and extend this to the right, we can come all the way down. So expecting a big move up there, and then most likely a move down to that $2 trillion region for the next cycle. This is all very macro. This is going to be taking place this year, next year, and maybe the following year. We'll see. But zooming in to the not macro, but still long-term time frame, our time horizon is till the end of the year. I am expecting this box to get filled now. Okay, so crypto is entering the buy zone, and I do see crypto making a top in the Q4 of 2025 or Q1 of 2026, and that's going to be around that $5 trillion region. So this is, the title of today is Crypto is entering the buy zone, and the buy zone that I'm talking about is the setup over here. This is the buy box, guys. Do not fade this buy box. I'm personally going to be aping into many longs. The deeper we get into this buy box, going to be waiting, going to be getting in. I haven't put I've got a few longs on at the moment. ENS, I've got Ondo, I've got, I think, Toncoin, and another one, and I'm going to be building Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, all of that, but mainly the altcoins, guys. I'll build a small Bitcoin position, but mainly the altcoins. Bitcoin dominance kind of holding up here. We did expect it to get a bounce from these tops over here, all tops becoming new bottoms. That's how it works with market structure. So this is still technically bullish. We've now reclaimed the 50-day EMA, and I did expect a rejection from the 50-day EMA. But now it looks like what's going to happen is we're going to retest the bottom of this trend line over here and come all the way down, something like that. That is what I'm expecting for Bitcoin dominance. So we could see one last little squeeze, but as soon as we close below that 50-day EMA, something like that, then it is going to be a move down to that 60%, 50% level, and that is where you could expect the next bounce. So this is what I'm expecting. So if you want to look for some, shorts on Bitcoin dominance, you could easily short Bitcoin coming into the zone over here, stop over there, and obviously longing altcoins to take the Bitcoin dominance trade. This could be your ETH BTC kind of chart. And speaking about ETH BTC, we spoke about a potential breakout over here, and it looks like it has just rejected. But I do like that it is, this is the longest time it's been above this 50-day EMA in a while. And I do think if we come into the 50-day EMA, test it as support, breakthrough, and get above this 200-day EMA, then it's going to be game on for Ethereum, guys. We are waiting for ETH to get above the 200-day EMA. We haven't closed multiple daily candles above the 200-day EMA for a long time. And I think it is time for Ethereum to take some market share. But enough about Ethereum. So, guys, all eyes on the Bitcoin chart, the total chart, and we are entering the buy zone now. So with Ethereum, actually, I'm going to speak about Ethereum just because I do like how it's kind of finding support at this 200-day EMA. If we can see a few more days closing above this 200-day EMA, testing lower levels, this is going to look like bullish absorption. bullish absorption is often a bottom indicator, and you do get it. Lots of wicks to the upside or the downside gives you that exhaustion kind of move. So if we do see lots of wicks to the downside and bulls buying it up and closing above the 200-day EMA, it's going to give us a nice long opportunity on Ethereum. And it looks like we are retesting this bottom of the channel over here. If I zoom out, there's this upsloping support channel over here, something like that. And you can see that we were holding it. We were bouncing support over here. We lost it. And now it looks like we've reclaimed it, creating a massive Ethereum deviation. That's the deviation over there. And now we are above that and testing that as support again. So this is exactly where you want to be finding support for Ethereum, guys. This zone over here, could we come lower and test these old bottoms, this top over here and the 50-day EMA? Very high chance we do. But we do want to see, we don't want to see a weekly close below the 200-day EMA. That's going to be looking a little bit scary. But for now, this is looking like a deviation, and we are hoping, being Ethereum bulls, that this level does hold, guys. We don't want to see lower levels. We don't want to see a breakdown of this upsloping support over here. If we do start to take out these lows at 1,700, it's going to be looking ugly. So this is where you can put your stop loss. If you are looking for an Ethereum long, you could long the zone over here, get a nice entry over there, stop below over there, and then targeting 4,000, giving you a risk reward of 3.6 to 1. I think this is very likely to play out. And you can be loading up on Ethereum in this whole zone over here, in my opinion. I don't see it losing 1,850 region, so this would be a good stop loss over there. Obviously, big green candles creating a fair value gap over there. We haven't tested these prices, of course, but this can happen in the start of a trending move, okay? Because no one gets their position. Everyone's scared. Massive bullish candle in one day, leaving everyone behind. No one's buying because people are too scared it might come down, and this could be the last little move down before we do see higher prices. But that's what I've got for Ethereum at the moment. Let's see what happens. I think, if we do see the 2,200s, I think that's a really good place to be buying some Ethereum. And you can be, just putting a little bit of leverage there. You could be 5x, 4x, 5x leveraging your Ethereum. If we do lose this level, it's most likely going to come all the way down. I don't see us losing this level at all. At all. So I'm not going to go too heavily into the altcoins. I'm going to go heavily into the altcoins when we see a little bit more fair value gap. Okay, so the ultimate signal for this, guys, is going to be, okay, we got the upsloping support over there. Now, what I'm expecting is a chop in the zone over here, eventually lose this level, and then that's going to be the ultimate trade, guys. So starting your accumulation for your favorite altcoins in the zone over here, this level over here, and then the big leverage longs will be taken on this retest over here, stops below the EMAs over there, and then targeting there. That's giving us a nice 3 to 1. And then, of course, if we lose this level, if we lose this level, then we can see a blow off top period over there. So it can be extending the longs all the way down there. This will be a TP1 on those swing trades, guys. Okay, so that's kind of the plan, guys. Dollar cost averaging over this week and next week, I think will be a great idea. I do see price filling this fair value gap and getting rejected off over there. We do have a little altcoin request over here, little ENA setup. I don't think I have an ENA setup, but we'll have a look at ENA. Okay, this would be the ENA setup. So, if we have a look at ENA over here, put the RSI on, we can see that price is holding up flat over here. And you can see the RSI, is building bullish momentum. So bottom period over here, and then, obviously there's this zone over here, which is your huge level. Okay, so we got support, resistance, little fake out, breakout. So now this is where, you could be going long on ENA for sure. Currently at the 200-day EMA, 50-day EMA, looking a bit scary. Stops would go below that level over there. TP1 over here, TP2 at the big fair value gap. And this is looking like a decent swing trade, in my opinion. So I might be taking this trade at the end of this. Yep. 3-to-1 risk reward to 69 cents. And if you want to go all the way to the fair value gap, which I do think is happening this cycle, then a 7-to-1 risk reward over here. And, if you are an ENA bull, you don't actually want to see these lows be lost at all. It will be looking bearish. So I will probably be taking this trade. Your trade setup would be, okay, well, we're going to go long in this zone over here. You could be 3xing this trade because there we go, something like that. You can go 3x on this trade. Your little 1% could get liquidated over here, but that's risking 1% of the account. And we'd be going TP1, TP2 in these key zones over here. So that would be a nice ENA setup. I think I'm going to take this trade, guys. I'm going to take this trade after the stream today. Let's have a look at WIF, because WIF's getting smashed today. Dog WIF at 10%. So this trading idea was if we closed multiple candles above the 200-day EMA, then we could take that long. So I'm going to get rid of that. But for WIF, what I'm looking at the moment is for WIF to come down to the zone over here. This is a key resistance over here. So if we can come down over here, get a nice long, stops could go below this level over here, and then obviously targeting that macro 50% level. That's giving us a 6.5-to-1 risk reward. And this is likely to play out, guys. It's likely to play out. So definitely watch out for WIF. I think this is a good trade. Over there, nice little 3x trade. We got one more chain link. Chain link setup, guys. This is looking pretty good. Good spot. Obviously, getting some support at the 50-day EMA over here, as you can see. Boom. And then we did know that this was a key level, this zone over here. So we did think we'd come down and test this again. You can see big bounce off there. Support, a little bit of resistance. And we are just going to most likely continue the bullish market structure. Okay, higher high, higher low, higher high, confirming the bullish market structure would be another higher low over here. So this is where you would expect a higher low to take place, the zone over here. Lines up with the old tops and the 50-day EMA. You can't make this stuff up, guys. So, if you do think that link is in the bullish market structure, which I do, you could take a long stop over there. And then obviously targeting the key levels, guys, something like that. We have a macro 50% level over there, which we could test again. Otherwise, big level over here, big level over here. TP1, $22, TP2, $27. And what you can see here, guys, is actually an inverse head and shoulders. So if we take out our patterns over there, head and shoulders, little left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So now this is the breakout and retest. Okay, I'm actually going to long chain link after the stream. This is an absolute textbook setup. What you don't want to see is a break of the left shoulder. So stops over there, and you can be leveraging this trade, guys. I'm taking this trade. I'm going to take this trade, obviously on CoinW, guys, long and strong. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to be taking this trade. So we spoke about this, going to be taking this trade because, we spoke about the fair value gap, and there is a good chance that the fair value gap is filled if you just get a tiny wick in, guys. So we're going to hedge against this by going in with a couple of trades. So we're gonna enter in Link. I really like the look of Link. It's well spotted over there. Obviously, guys, don't risk more than 1% per trade. Okay, just because I'm taking this long doesn't mean it's going to work out, and it doesn't mean it's going to go to the moon. So I'm going to take this trade. I do like the setup. We should see this level be defended, of course. If you are conservative, you could go put your stop over here, but that's completely up to you guys. I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive on this one. 50-day EMA holding up there. Support holding up from the previous resistance. It is a textbook setup, guys. So that's a good setup over there. And we spoke about ENA, guys. Let's take another look at ENA just to make sure. I think it's just below. Yeah, not too bad. I'm going to take the ENA trade and the link trade. Those are the two for today. And if we do get further pullbacks, if these do get stopped out, it means that we will be having beautiful opportunities in the rest of the space, guys. So I'm going to take that trade. Chain link. Let's go ENA. Let's go. Not more than 1% of your portfolio, guys. Never. Can't do that, guys. Not on altcoins. Can you do more than 1% of your portfolio? But anything else that we should have a look at? Guys, the only chart that I'm looking at the moment is actually USDT dominance. I am just waiting for this fair value gap. So this is all you got to watch, in my opinion, guys. The further we get into this zone over here is where you can start going 20x leverage Bitcoin long, or Ethereum as well. This is the zone, guys. So just only thing you need to watch, in my opinion, is this. I've been out of the market since down here waiting for the fair value gap, and we've eventually got a little bit today. This could be that zone, but patient this week and next week. I think we're going to have nice opportunities. We could chop around here. And, where are we wrong? Where are we wrong on this idea? Well, we're going to be incorrect with our idea or our thesis if we start to move up here, bang, and start to close multiple days above that 50% level, breakout, then that's going to be looking scary. And at this point, we can cut our longs with a little loss, of course. But guys, I'm in the industry in there. I'm going to go long on Chainlink and ENA. Going to take those trades, of course, on CoinW. And we'll see you guys later this week. Okay, cheers for now.